Every year we kind of like to do just a major shop cleanup. We haven't got to it this year yet. Today is the day.
Yeah, dog.
Come here. There you go. That's your new bed. There you go.
Cleaned on the bench the other day. You can kind of see where I cleaned.
I don't see it.
How dirty the shop was, so we're gonna pull out everything off this wall, clean the floor, and kind of reorganize.
On the outside, looking in, I really wasn't sure what I was getting. Between the high waves on the sea, waiting for something to get to me. I wasn't sure what I was hoping for, you see. You know what I want, babe. You know everything that gets me going. You know what I want, babe. All the little things that I'm not showing. You know what I want, babe. And you know it all before I do it.
We got the easy part done. Oh, God, I'm sorry. You guys are so dusty. Jeez, look at that. The easy part is now done. Look how dirty. I'm sorry, Ellie just stepped on your foot. Look how dirty this wall is. That is terrible. We built this shop in 2011. So that's, what, 12 years worth of dust on the wall. This is a little spot that Cooper cleaned earlier with some glass cleaner. So look at that. That's incredible. We kind of made a mistake when we put the tin on the inside of this building. We thought, well, if we turn the tin on its side, then when we run conduit, it'll be really easy because it just fits right inside the groove. But what we didn't think about was all the dust that would settle on it. This is all the tools and the goodies and the everything we had over there. Fire up, Johnny! La puerta está muy sucia! Did I say that right?
I'm learning the path as I go. Everybody knows it's focus.
What are you eating there, bud? Can I share with you?
There is a truth in the lies. I didn't leave you twice. There's no tomorrow here.
I think the other day I counted 21 light bulbs burn out, so I'm debating if we want to put in new light bulbs or if we go with new lights like what Cooper put in the place they live and what we're putting in over at Cole's place. Them things are bright. I think right now Cole is trying to get rid of the stain. If I remember right, that's probably remains of a unwanted salesman.
It's amazing what a little bit of TLC will do. A little power washing, a little soaping, a little scrubbing action. Man, that looks good. So look how much brighter that wall is now. The back wall still has the dirt on it. See how just dark and stingy that is? And then boom, we got the brightness. Floor's still a little damp, wall's still a little damp, the air in here is still a little damp. We're gonna throw the dehumidifier on all night. We'll be back in the morning.
I left my pickup set out last night. Normally it sits in the heated shed. Can't even see out the windshield. It's full of frost. Okay, Levi, we can go to the next one now, the back. See all our safety railings and stuff up there? It's a little bit scary. I was just walking out of the shed and I heard a ding. One of the rods came down.
Today's gonna be a day focused on efficiency. Now that we have an empty wall, we're gonna take all the tools that we pulled over here and we're gonna reorganize them in a manner where it's work oriented. So the stuff we need is close to the stuff we need. So we're not walking from there to there to there to there to there to there 1,000 times a day.
How is it sitting like that? Or is it blowing into the wall?
I think it's sitting like that so then the air could blow sideways. Do we want to go the same route where we have that all the power tools underneath the hot water heater right there?
Yeah, that seemed to work pretty good.
Why does this thing feel lighter today?
I don't know. Oh, careful behind those pipes.
If you go into a gas station and you see the racking behind the cash register where they have all the cigarettes and stuff, that is what this rack is. I helped demolish the inside of a Casey's a few years ago and they were throwing away these shelves. So I nabbed one. They're a heavy duty unit. But what we use this one for is all of our sockets and all of our power tools. So we just take these PVC pipe things and then you can just stick everything in there, it gets everything up. You can see what's here, but the problem is we're starting to get a bunch of these. And so then they start laying like this and then you get this whole shelf and then they just get kind of cluttered up. We got another 4-inch piece of PVC pipe. We're gonna cut a few more slots. And I think we're gonna make another row of them up here. We'll see how we like that. And we could honestly maybe go down here if we wanted to. That's not all of our impacts, is it?
No, there's mine, Dad's, and then our old one, and then the new shop one. I gotta get a new head for that one.
Whoa, 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 what happened there?
I got a little crazy with it.
If I could only be some kind of poet, if I could have my way with words, if only for a day, I would tell you what I feel so you know it, 'cause I would know just what to say, if only I was some kind of poet.
At this point in my life, I have done 6, add a finger there, shop cleanouts. At least in this particular shop, I've done 6 of them. And along that journey, I've definitely learned a thing or two. Number 1, mess is magnetic. If we have something sitting on the floor in a particular spot, or if we have a bench that has some clutter on it, it attracts more clutter because we just think, oh, there's already stuff here. What's another thing? What's another thing? What's another thing? And then before you know it, you have an area like that big you can work. Second thing I've learned, horizontal surfaces are terrible. That's a pretty obvious one. But if you have a wide open horizontal surface, stuff is going to find its way there. Number 4, get rid of miscellaneous items. If there's a miscellaneous item in the drawer that it's been sitting there for 10 years and you will never actually do anything with it, just get rid of it because mess attracts mess. Drawers are better than cabinets because you can't stack them so deep and full of stuff. And vertical hanging slots and hooks are better than shelves, and that's for 2 reasons. It's really easy to develop a giant miscellaneous section of stuff when we have so much area that we can put things. And number 2, this collects a whole lot more dust because there's a lot more surface area. Don't cheap out when you're buying a bolt rack. Buy one that is big enough to have all the sizes. Even if you don't buy all the sizes, just have it where you have the availability to have all the sizes, at least up to, let's say, 8 inches long, 10 inches long, however long you possibly think you're going to need to go. Because what happens is you end up filling stuff up with the common sizes, and then you're like, oh, I got another common size, but this is where my washers go. Now where am I supposed to put my washers? And then you just get these random assortments on the bottom, which kind of turns into a miscellaneous item. The days of dragging an air hose and extension cord around the shop should be over at this point because they make these hose reels. These are like $60. Everything winds up nice when you're done with it. It retracts right up to the wall. You're not sitting there trying to wind up a hose because nobody actually winds up the hose. They just stuff it in a corner and a bunch of stuff gets built up on top of it. It gets ran over, gets holes punctured into it. Then also with extension cords, same thing. These nice retractor things, these are like $50. And you don't have a 100-foot extension cord that nobody rolls up and always gets tangled all the time. And then you're just fed up and don't want to deal with it. And same thing, you just throw it in a pile and then it gets even more tangled up over and over. And I'm speaking off experience here. A couple years ago, we got to tour a few big factories where they manufactured a bunch of stuff. And I noticed they had shadow boards everywhere. And the organized brain in my head was like, oh, That would be awesome. So then I got the idea, well, if I got some Kaizen foam, you know, then I can make all these cutouts for wrenches and stuff and all of our toolboxes. And then I can do the same thing for our sockets. But then I discovered that here's the problem. Look at all the different brands of stuff we have in here, and all brands are different sizes. I mean, this is a prime example. All of these are 3/4 inch wrenches, and look at the different lengths. The wrenches weren't so bad because, I mean, you can still make them fit for the most part, but sockets were just terrible. Then you try to find all these divider things or the little things that, you know, you can punch into the back and then make a nice chain of them, and they're like 20 bucks a piece, and you need like 7 of them to fit all your sockets. You can buy one of these socket sets for like 80 bucks. And everything's already organized with you, and the best part is you can just pick it up and take it with you where you need to go when you want to go somewhere with it. I've gone away with trying to organize them inside the drawer with all the divider thingies or whatever, and I've started just to buy those. You don't realize how much time it takes of your day walking back and forth from the shop to get stuff. Like right now, with how we're doing the layout of the inside of the building here, we're just trying to think, okay, when I'm working on stuff down here, what are the tools that I generally need? Like when I'm on the vise, you know, I'm gonna need a hammer, a pry bar, I'm gonna need the torch. All of those things we want to have in close proximity, because the more steps we can eliminate walking back and forth to go grab those tools, because it never fails. You get down there, you grab the tool, you come back, you grab the wrong one, you walk down there again, you grab a different tool, you come back, it's the wrong one as well. Then you get down there, come back, then you get started working. Hey Cole, can you grab me this? And that tool's down there, and then you got to walk over there to go bring it to them. And then it's just all of a sudden, what should have taken 5 seconds has taken you 4 minutes, and then you do that for 10 years straight, and all of a sudden you've burned 74 days of just walking back and forth. All those little time increments, they add up, and we want to try to be as efficient as possible. And it also comes back into when we have new people here working on something, or say we're scaling up our team, when we start planting more acres, farming more acres, then we will have more people working here. And when that is the case, like Cooper and I, Dad, have been here our whole lives, so we understand where everything is and the method behind the madness. But when new people come in, we need to have as plug and play as possible. This is something I picked up when I was at these giant manufacturing plants, because they just have workstations where literally the person like has a dot on the floor that they stand on. They have every tool that they possibly need within arm's reach. Like they literally do not have to move. And oftentimes they'll be from left to right on the order that they need them to prevent them from grabbing the wrong tool, and then they can only put them back in specific spots. But that is just for a trainability perspective and a scalability perspective, because it allows basically anybody to be able to come in and do those things, and it doesn't require a whole bunch of new thought. It's just, oh yes, it only fits in this puzzle piece, so that must be where it goes. Another thing that I discovered, having 2 locations for one item does not work. All of the items will work their way from one location into the other one, and then that will be the permanent location for everything, and then there'll just be like a random straggler over there, and then you're just wasting drawer space that you could use for something else. Never make a location in your shop to hang jumper cables, because they don't do any good in your shop. When you need jumper cables, you're always out and about like us. We have a spot in our shop, and whenever we have a dead battery, we always make our way back over here to grab a pair of jumper cables or the battery jumper thingy. If you don't have a battery charger and you want to have a pair around your shop, I understand, because sometimes around the shop you need to do that. But for us, we have a plug-in battery charger, and then we also have one of these portable battery jumper packs. If you have 2 doors in your shop, do not put anything between the 2 doors, because what happens is you start to develop a wall of stuff that just starts to move its way down. It's usually trash, so you end up moving it out after a certain point, but while it's building up, you have to walk around it all the time in the meantime. And when you get out of a vehicle here, then you got to walk around versus just being able to walk straight through. As for trying new things, we've kind of developed a little bit of what we think is going to be a permanent layout. These 2 items for sure, we like how they fit in here. This actually works perfect, tucking right underneath there. And really easy to get to stuff, and it's close to the bench, so we like that. The bench, we like the spot, but what we're kind of thinking of doing is building a new bench. So we'll make a nice top to it, and then we'll have these angle iron legs come down, but we'll make it taller. It'll probably be about to here. And the idea behind it is we will not have this bottom shelf sitting inside there, so it'll be kind of a big open area. We'll take this bench and we'll be able to just roll that right underneath, so that metal cage will be around it. So then you'll have the bench here, and then we'll have the drawers right beneath. Oh, yep, prime example right there for you again with the sockets. But then we'll have the drawers right underneath the bench, so then we can actually have our hammers in the bench. We've been kind of thinking about getting a bench that has all the drawers and stuff built underneath of them, but they're like $12,000, $15,000, $18,000. And we just figured, man, you know, that's kind of a lot of money to spend on a bench when we already have one over there, and then we can make one out of some steel and stuff that may be a little bit more customizable for us, and it would be like a fifth of the price. We've been working on the shop for 2 days now. We're not quite done yet. We basically just have this little back corner left, getting that cleared out, and then we're gonna go through these shelves again and really analyze, do we actually need this stuff, or can we consolidate it more? If we don't need it, we're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna consolidate what we can. The idea behind it is we want to have nothing on the floor over here. We want to have nothing on the floor over there. We want to be able to take our big oil tanks and take out a couple of these shelves, get them slid in here in this corner, so that way stuff is hidden underneath of the shelf. Then basically from this corner on up to the power washer in the front, there will be nothing on the floor here. This will all be clean. We should be able to tuck everything up here under the shelves or on the shelves. And there's a lot of stuff on these shelves we just need to get rid of. I like it. Wow, that's crisp. This is clean. Got the Cornstar Farms light up neon sign on. Clean that looks, that is incredible. Got all the electrical stuff inside. Nice and organized. That door is a little chaotic, but that door is clean. The filter area, we are working on getting our inventory down. We don't need 4 of every single filter unless we're going to be using 4 of them this year. But the most important thing about this area is there's nothing on the floor in front of it. That makes a big difference in keeping this area clean. If you can keep nothing through here like this, it stays clean. It's just when you have stuff there, then it builds up. The area I'm most excited for though is back here, because this has always just been the catch area that I'm not really sure what to do with it, but I think I want to keep it, just go pile it in the back corner. That has been this area. We consolidated this shelving area, put these tanks underneath, so now they're way more conspicuous inside the back wall. They're not just sitting out here in an open area. We actually have clean through here. Look at that. There's nothing against that wall. This is a first since we built the shop. Having a clean work area goes so much further beyond than just being efficient with our time and having efficient projects. It also prevents us from having shiny object syndrome. And what I mean by that is when we're working on something and then we see this other like kind of low hanging fruit thing that could be cleaned up or just needs to be addressed, like a big mess in the corner of the shop or something you're always walking around every time you get out of a vehicle and it drives you absolutely nuts. When we get to a spot in a project, say we're working on an engine on something, and it's kind of given us a little bit of a, we don't really feel like working on this right now. Then we look at that shiny object, which is that pile of junk sitting on the floor. That would be super easy to clean up in like 2 hours. And then we divert all our attention to that, and then it puts off actually getting that engine done. And then, you know, things keep coming up. Hey, now we got to go dig a grave. Now so-and-so broke down on the side of the road. We got to go get them. Okay, now we probably better be getting the planters out because spring's changing and then the weather's going to be bad next week. So like now's our opportunity to do that. And then when we're doing that, oh man, this has a flat tire. So now we got to go run in get that taken care of. Then when we're on the way there, so-and-so calls, they need help moving out of their house. And so you're already 5 minutes away, so you go and do it. And then before you know it, like 10 days has gone by and you do not have that engine done. And then you have a deadline where you need to have that in 2 days. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go call your neighbor and then borrow a vehicle from them, so that way you can get the specific job done that needs to be done. And then once you get that job done, using the neighbor's item, then you're like, okay, well, now I don't really need this for another 3 weeks. And then so you have that tore apart engine still on the floor in your shop and is taking up a bunch of area, preventing you from getting other things in there. And then before you know it, you're 2 months fully behind on just getting that one item done. And then you have other things that come, and then the same thing happens when you hit all those. And then you're constantly just playing run around, catch up. Hey, we're 10 days behind when we should be in the field 10 days ago, but we've been working on this piece of equipment trying to get it ready. So that's what we're really trying to do, is just eliminate that shiny object syndrome as well. And I feel like that is a way bigger time killer than most people realize, because 5 minutes here and there doesn't seem like a lot, but a 5-minute pull away usually turns into a 45-minute pull away. And then by the time you actually get back into something, then it takes like another 20 minutes to get back into that flow state of mind where you're really going and kind of hitting the groove on things. And so, I mean, you kill an hour pretty quick, and you kill an hour once a day for a week. By the time you've worked a whole week, you've basically lost an entire day of working. And so you do that over the course of a year, you've lost 52 days of working, which is basically 2 months. So little things really add up. And that's what we're trying to prevent by doing this. And everyone likes walking into a clean shop. It's like walking into a clean kitchen. It feels good. So anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, you probably might enjoy these videos as well. And while you're down there, be sure to check out some Cornstar Farms gear down in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.